Okay, today we are going to talk about the Overwatch PTR patch notes for November 13th, 2019, wherein Blizzard decided that they would rather we didn't really pick shields anymore, basically is the summation of the patch. So, to start with, introducing while you wait. While you're queuing, you can do something to fill the time, because, well, the queue takes a while sometimes, doesn't it? If you're a DPS player. If you're a tank, it's no time at all. But if you're a DPS player, you're waiting for like 10 minutes. Now you can do stuff, and you can enter practice range as a group. Amazing. It took us 3 years to get there, but we got there in the end, and that's the important thing. Some workshop stuff, who cares? So, big ones though. Hero updates. Armor damage reduction increased from 3 to 5. You'll never notice the difference. Orisa, base armor increased from 200 to 250. I believe this is just changing the to 250 armor, 150 health. I don't think it's increasing the total health. So, you know, that's nice. Orisa's a little bit tankier, so that's cool. And movement speed penalty while firing reduced by 10%. Just make Orisa move at full speed at this point. It's so getting so inconsequential, but, you know, she's meant to be static, so she's gotta have something, I guess. So here's the big one. Protective barrier, health reduced from 900 to 600. This is what Bridget's shield was when Bridget was released. Now, would you consider Orisa to be a main tank anymore with 600 health on her shield? I find it a little bit hard to justify saying Orisa's a main tank when her shield is comparable to 1.0 Bridget. And by comparable, I mean is exactly the same as 1.0 Bridget. No one ever went in and said Bridget was the main tank. Granted, her shield was a lot smaller physically, but Roadhog can literally break Orisa's shield in 4 shots now, by himself, discounting anything else that's going on at the same time. So, you know, this is what I like about Blizzard. They're very direct. You can tell what they're going for. You know that when Jeff doesn't want you to be playing something anymore, you stop playing it. We didn't want you to play Bridget anymore. Bridget's gone now. We didn't want you to play goats anymore. You literally can't play goats anymore. We'd rather if you stopped doing double shield. Sigma and Orisa shields. 33% and almost half reduced. So yeah, I don't think Orisa's much of a main tank anymore. Sorry. Roadhog, like, this has the obvious nerf of Orisa Sigma being significantly worse, especially accounting for the Sigma nerf as well. But it has the knock-on effect of making Orisa Roadhog significantly worse as well, because now Orisa does not offer the anywhere near the same level of shield uptime. So, you know, it's thoroughly killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Not that Orisa Roadhog was ever really a problem, but, you know, that just got a lot worse by extension as well. So that's very sad. We're gonna see a lot less Orisa in the near future. Also, Fortify cooldown decreased from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Saved. Still viable. Thank goodness. Sigma. Experimental barrier. Health reduced from 1,500 to 900. Extreme overkill. It doesn't need to be reduced by this much. Especially not that since they already nerfed Sigma so that he couldn't move his shield as freely anymore. I already felt like Sigma wasn't such a great main tank anyway. You could do it, but I was never particularly fond of doing it. And now, fuck, I'm definitely not fond of doing it anymore. And as if that wasn't enough as well, we reduced the health regeneration by 30 as well. So, no more shield meta. No more. Orisa, we replaced your shield with Bridget's. Congratulations. Sigma, your shield is now Orisa's, but a less convenient shape. We hope you like it. So, but On the bright side, kinetic grasp's cooldown was reduced by 3 seconds, and the damage to shield ratio is increased by 20%. So that's nice. Yeah, Orisa and Sigma are not going to be particularly popular anymore. Reinhardt. We reduced his barrier as well, 2,000 to 1,600. An actually reasonable reduction on Reinhardt. You know, that's a fine reduction. You know, I'm sad about it. I'm obviously sad about it as a Reinhardt player, but that's a reasonable amount to reduce it by. We didn't reduce it by almost half or a third, so I'm okay with that. Also, you can move way faster. It's only 25% reduction, move speed reduction instead of 50%, so you move way faster while carrying a shield around now. So that's great, makes it easy to actually get in at the price of it being slightly more fragile, but I will gladly sacrifice 400 health on the shield for 25% move speed. That's definitely a net positive for Reinhardt. And Steadfast passive, knockback resistance increased from 30% to 50%. It's actually worth something now. I said when they put this in, 30% is not remotely close to enough knockback reduction. Because the main problem, knockback-wise, when you're playing Reinhardt, is Hammond. Like, yeah, 30% helped if you were being booped, like, by a Lucio or a Pharah. But frankly, Hammond is the one that gives you the problem, and 30% was not enough. 50% is probably still not quite enough for Hammond. I think it needs to maybe be 60, and then we'd be good. But 50%, we're definitely much better than it was previously. I said 30% won't be enough. 30% wasn't enough. They're increasing it now. Hooray. So, good stuff for Reinhardt. Net positive overall. 400 health on the shield for move speed and knockback resistance. Definitely worth it. Definitely a net positive. So, Jeff also decided to listen to all of the DPS players, the Doomfist players, that were saying, Moira's too strong. And they nerfed Moira. Fairly inconsequentially. You heal a little bit less when you're sipping on somebody. By 15 health per second. It's not a big deal. You'll die slightly more often than you would have done previously, but the main survivability from Moira comes from, like, using the healing orb and Fade. The sip is nice, but it's not the bulk of Moira's survivability. So, it'll make a difference. You'll die a little bit, but you'll die a little bit extra, but not overly so. It'll be fine. D.Va, cooldown decrease on defense matrix. 2 seconds was a little bit obscene. Like, it made it really awkward to block stuff. Made it really easy if you were playing Zarya to, like, play around the D.Va, because as soon as she took it down, you're just like, well, you got all the time in the world to throw this Graviton in there. And 1.5 seconds is not a massive difference, but if you're a D.Va player, you'll notice. You'll notice the difference. Widowmaker, cooldown increased by 2 seconds on the hook, who cares? Torbjorn, overload, cooldown decreased by 2 seconds, who cares? Genji, you know, they heard that Genji is, like, debatably the worst hero in the game right now. So do you know what they did? They looked at that and they went, what are we gonna do to make Genji viable again, my friends? And some absolute genius raised his hand and went, give him 6 more ammo so he can fire 2 more times before he has to reload. And hooray, Genji was saved. It's okay, we're about to play a lot of dive comps, so Genji will be stoked to be about that. Except for all the Doomfists that are still going to be running around. Zarya. Secondary fire on particle cannon. Explosion radius increased from 2 to 2.5. That's in a sphere, so it's gonna be more than it sounds like. It'll be more noticeable than 0.5 because it's in the complete sphere. But hey, that's nice. And now ammo cost decreased from 25 to 20, so now she gets to fire it 5 times before she has to reload instead of 4. So that's nice. You know, if you're a Zarya player, you'll definitely notice. And if you're playing against Zarya, you'll definitely get hit more than you would have done previously. But overall, like, not something that's going to affect Zarya overall balance-wise, just one of those things that is nice. There was... Colorblind mode is, like, still, like, really bad, by the way. There was one bug that was interesting, because it's one of those ones that I thought that's just how it was meant to work, to be honest with you. Roadhog fixed a bug that prevented Roadhog's hook from damaging turrets and barriers. Didn't really think that that was an issue, to be honest with you. It makes absolutely zero difference to Roadhog balance-wise. Like, actually zero. But, that's just, you know, it's just one of those things. I thought that was how it was meant to be. Remember when, if Winston had Bio Grenade on him, and he used Primal Rage, he would only heal up to 500 instead of going to 5,000. Which made sense to me, because it was like, you heal 5,000, then, or, heal 5,000, holy shit. You gain 500, heal 500. That made sense to me. No, that wasn't how it was meant to be. It was not meant to interact with Bio Grenade at all, so we fixed that. There was one with Junkrat, fixed a bug where Junkrat's grenades would not explode when slowly rolling down steep inclines. There aren't many steep inclines in Overwatch, but that's a fairly noticeable bug at this. Like, that's a pretty bad bug to have been in the game, but there weren't really that many places where you probably felt the impact. I imagine mostly Busan, basically, but it's good that that's gone. That's not a bug that should have ever existed. So, yeah, there's the patch. There's everything of note. Mostly the shield changes are the big one. They heard we don't like the double shield meta, and so it's gone now. Now, what's going to happen? We're going to play a lot of dive heroes in the near future, is basically what's going to happen. We're already playing Doomfist Reaper a lot. And with the shield tanks getting nerfed, the logical follow-up to that will be, well, if we're playing these two dive heroes anyway, and most of their turtle is gone now, we might as well pick Winston Hammond, Winston Diva, maybe Diva Hammond if we're feeling particularly brave. Because, hey, we're diving anyway, right? We're already picking Lucio as well, right? So now all the shields are going to be gone as well, so we can be more justified in picking things like Ana again as well. Dive comps are about to get a lot better. And we don't have that many, like, great counters to dive right now, because, like, Bridget is not going to be able to deal with all of that, and it's going to be a lot of diving. It's going to be a lot of diving, and you know, some people will be happy about that. I find dive meta to be particularly tedious, to be honest with you, because, like, it's already not fun being dove on by Doomfist, because if you're certain heroes, like, all you can really do is hope Doomfist fucks up, or hope your team helps you. So imagine that's happening. Oh, and here come the other here comes Winston and Hammond at the same time. Oh, isn't that incredible? And so I think it's going to be bad. I think support players are about to be particularly unhappy. And it's going to, like, sniper players will be very unhappy in all likelihood as well. It's a little bit better for the sniper players in regards that there will be less shields around, making it a little bit easier to shoot at people. But we'll see if that makes up for the fact that Doomfist, Reaper, Hammond, and Winston are after you. Maybe also Lucio as well. We'll see. So I'm not particularly stoked about the PTR patch personally, other than the Reinhardt changes. They're great. But let me know what you think Do you think it's good? Do you think it's the worst thing ever? I think we'll be able to tell who won't like the patch, and who will like the patch. I have a suspicion certain players will be fairly vocal about the changes. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. So thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just share posts with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. EST till to midnight EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still found it helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.